everyone, welcome back to In Stitches with Mary. I am here to show you block number 5 in my Seam So Easy quilt along. This is kind of called the LeMoyne Star. The references I was using was calling it the LeMoyne, and then as I started doing a little more research on it, a true LeMoyne is not like this. But we're just going to call it a LeMoyne revised. Some people call it the LeMoyne Star because there's some history there. That's for another day. But it is an interesting history. Let's just say that. This is so simple to put together. It is just half square triangles. So let's go ahead and get started. Now, when I said it is simple to put together, it is even simple to cut out and get ready. You're going to need for this 3 colors, a light, a medium, and a dark. You are going to cut out 2 6-inch squares from each of those, plus your light corners. You'll need 4 3.5-inch squares. All right. To put it together, to sew these, I like doing this. You are going to take and go right sides together, a medium to a light, a medium to a dark, and then a dark to a light. And when we sew these together, I've got one here that I've already marked out. You want to draw a diagonal line from corner to corner, and you are going to stitch a 1/4 inch seam all the way around. Now, as you do that, just go ahead and sew the seam and run off, and then start the next one. Don't try and turn the corner. It's not necessary. You're going to be a lot more accurate just by sewing straight across, and so forth. What we're going to do is you're going to slice that on that drawn line, and you have 4 half square triangles. It's super simple. Now, once you have slit this, you're going to go ahead and press your triangles to the dark side. And you will want to trim these. You're going to want to take them over to the ruler and trim these down to 3.5 inches square. They're going to be a little bit bigger. You didn't sew anything wrong. They are just naturally cut that way. And you're going to trim these down to 3.5 inches square. And all that's left now is to arrange our block. This is fun. You'll want to use a picture as a reference. So we'll start with our corner squares. I just like to lay them out there and make sure we've got them in the right places. I'm probably a little bit too far right now, so let's start there. And then we've got a center pinwheel. So that's going to be our dark and our medium fabrics. And we can put those out in a pinwheel fashion. Get that going in the right direction. Bring that down. We know these are going to come into our points at this time. There we go. And then we are going to line up the light half square triangles, and you're going to match those up so you start to get your point going across here. And you do have to turn to make sure that they're lining up the way you want them to. Here we go. You're starting to see it. Isn't this fun? I love it when you don't know sometimes when you're choosing your colors how that's going to turn out. But this one turns out super sweet. You just can't go wrong. So there is our star. Isn't that sweet? What is left to do, of course, is to sew our blocks together into rows, and then we'll sew our rows together like you would with any quilt. Pressing is up to you. On this one, I have pressed them in various directions, but what I like to try and do is to press in opposite. It doesn't always work. You may need to press them open. I did get to do when you nestle that center, and I don't know if you can see it or not, but I nestled and my seams are going in different directions enough that when this opens up here, I actually have a pinwheel in the back compared to the front. and that reduced some of that bulk. But to do that, you have to be able to open up all of those seams and press them in different directions. So this is, let's call this the revised LeMoyne, it's not a true one. And when we put this together using these colors, I think it's really pretty as well. Now, this is one that might be a little bit more susceptible to using a sashing in between, but you can put them together and then you'll create a square, several squares as you lay them side by side. Well, this is the 5th block in our installment. I hope you enjoyed this. And if you're interested in the pattern, it is available right here at Neil's Vacuum and Sewing Center. Thank you for joining me.